Welcome back, Fantasy Fiction Fanatics. It's great to see you again, and I hope you're doing well. Today is going to be another book review, and today's book is Spice Road by Maiya Ibrahim. And if you end up liking this book review, please go ahead and give me a like, as well as go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed to have more book reviews, more fantasy discussions. I would really love to have you as part of the Fantasy Fiction Fanatics community if you're not already. And thank you to everybody who already is part of the community. All right, let's go ahead and dive right into this review. Of course, if you want to see more thoughts on what I think about the book and some more details, you can check out my blog post on it. I will go ahead and link that down below. So this particular book is a young adult novel. It is about a girl named Imani who is a shield for her city, for her area, and that being a shield just means she is a protector, and she does use magic to protect her people. And they're in kind of a closed off city, and she finds out that the brother she thought was probably dead might actually be alive in a world or in a area across the sands, these sands that are very hard to get across. And she ends up convincing the council to allow her to go ahead and go after her brother, and they assign a couple of other people to go with her to traverse the sands into that outside world and to go and convince her brother to come back. So it's all about her journey trying to find and get her brother. So what did I like about this book? I really like the characters. The first thing that really was striking to me is how great the characters are, how good they are developed and introduced, and how they interact with each other, especially Imani as the main character. It is a first-person point of view, which makes it be very important how good the main character is, since that narration is so close to that character. And I really like Imani because she has real growth to her, and she takes things she internalizes things. She sees things that she realized that she has a misconception on, or she realizes things were not as she expected, and that she is maybe ignorant, and she really absorbs those things, brings it in, thinks about it, and then decides to grow and change from this new knowledge. She really develops in this story, and I really love that. Of course, there are other characters that are good, that develop, that we see, but Imani really truly grows and changes as a person throughout this book, and I love seeing that, especially with a main character who is a little bit more sheltered at the beginning, like Imani is. I also really like the unique and interesting world that we have in this story. I like the Arabian theme. I think that is unique and it is interesting. I really like the magic system in this story. The magic comes from drinking this spice tea, that the spices worked into the tea, brewed, and then you drink it, and each person has an affinity that is born from the kind of person they are. Like, all the spices the same, but then each individual drinks it, and they have their own kind of specialization in magic. And I think that's super, super interesting. I like the culture that is formed around the drinking of the spice, and the way that the town or the people are developed and grow because of having spice. So I just think it's super interesting, that culturalness that the magic brings to this society that she's in, and the rituals they have for it, things like that. I just find it super, super interesting. Plus, the writing style is superb. This is Ibrahim's debut novel, and her writing style is super mature while also being clear, and it flows super easy. It's a very, very good style. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you wanting to read more, with a lot of super interesting elements in the plot. So really love her writing style. I think that a lot of people will really enjoy it. And last but not least, I really like the plot. So the plot is really simple, and I like sometimes having just a simple basic plot like Imani trying to find and bring back her brother, because then you have a lot of ways to explore beyond that plot while still being driven forward by the plot, if that makes sense. So the driving factor is finding her brother, finding her brother, finding her brother, and that's what's taking each step through the story and keeps the story on its course, keeps it moving forward and progressing. But because we already have such a simple plot, we have so much room to grow with the characters, so much room to grow with the world, so much room to grow and focus on other things while still being moved forward and building that tension. So really like sometimes having just a very simple, straightforward plot that then allows the rest of the world, the setting, the people, anything else to just expand and be more of the focus. What did I not like? Story-wise, there's not really much that I feel like is strong enough for me to say I didn't like that. Will I say it's a perfect story? Maybe not. But there's nothing that really stands out as saying like, that wasn't really great. The only thing I do think is that I would not recommend this book as an audiobook. And it's not even because I don't like the audio version of it. I think the narrator who reads this book is really, really good. I highly enjoyed the narrator who was reading it. But the first 4 or 5 chapters are not edited correctly. I got it from the library and then I bought the book because I thought maybe it was just a glitch or something like that. But really, the audiobook is not edited correctly. There are different words in the wrong places. Like you're going along normal and then suddenly it's like garbled mishmash of words that don't fit together, and then it goes back on track with the story. So it doesn't make sense and it's hard to figure out what is supposed to be said. So if you're willing to push through 5 chapters of, random spots, like multiple spots per chapter, being a garbled mishmash of something that you're just like, what the heck was that supposed to say? Or what was that correct sentence? Then it does get better after like chapter 5 or something like that, where everything is good to go. But it's very, very hard to get through those first several chapters because it is garbled a lot. So unfortunately, I would suggest just reading it if that's possible for you. If you really want to check this one out and all you can do is audiobooks, just be aware the first several chapters are going to be really hard to get through. Still, even though I listened to it as an audiobook, I did enjoy the story enough to push through that and to try and move forward. And at least it does clear up at some point. It's not the whole story, but still, 5 chapters is a lot to push through. That's a couple hours of listening to the book. So just be aware of that. Overall, would I recommend this book? Yes, I would highly recommend this book. I think it has a lot to offer both young adult readers as well as adult readers. I really do feel like the writing style is sophisticated enough to warrant adult reading. I think that a lot of adults would still enjoy the story, enjoy the world, the fantasy elements, the characters. I think there is a lot to give to a lot of different readers, as well as being, accessible to that younger audience. So overall, I think it's a really great book. I think it's definitely worth reading. I can't wait for book 2. I will definitely be checking it out when it comes out, and I hope to hear your thoughts if you have read this or if you plan to read it. Share with me your thoughts and feelings on it as well. All right, I guess that is it for me today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.